Newcomer, page 66. Despite these facts, there was still no reason for Lenise to be acquainted with a commoner. This made Fedora and the High Queen's planned appointments very delicate. Since the Queen couldn't trust a runner with her addiction, Fedora wondered how their long charades would go unnoticed, for she knew how scheming the gossiping socialites could be. She draped her shawl over her package to conceal the elixir's wrapping, and after locking up, she made her way towards the elixir. Because the elixir was so highly priced, it was located deep within forbidden territory. The timing had to be flawless. As Fedora made her way, she prayed that the Queen had seen her, for she hadn't spied Lenise since she saw her leave the elixir. A suspicious crowd followed the commoner, and as many that could fit entered the elixir behind her. When she reached the proprietor's counter, she was pinned on both sides by the mob. Fedora didn't try to free herself as she gave her explanation for being there. "Forgive me, Matrix proprietor," she began. "Please do not be alarmed. I am here to bring you this package," she said, holding up the parcel, "which I found on the outskirts of the shops of the elite. My store is on the outer edge of the square of commons. When I left my shop to trade, I saw this lying on the road." The rest of her explanation was drowned out by a louder, more frantic voice. "Matrix Sarah!" the High Queen screamed above the confusion. "I've been robbed!" she shouted, then saw Fedora with the outstretched package. "Good," the Queen announced, pushing her way through the crowd. "I see that you've caught the thief. Coco, seize her," she ordered, pointing at the commoner. "Forgive me, my Queen," Matrix Sarah said as Coco grabbed Fedora. "This commoner entered my shop on her own to return this parcel that she found. She risked her life by traveling through the zone forbidden to commoners." Lenise listened, then looked at the frightened Fedora, who nodded in agreement before bowing before her Queen. "Well," the Queen said, turning back to Matrix Sarah, "it should be I who asks for forgiveness." Stepping away from the counter, the Queen ordered Coco to release the daughter. "Thank you, commoner," she said to Fedora. "My runner will visit you with a reward for your integrity. Leave your name and address with the Matrix proprietor." Still bowing, Fedora handed the package to Lenise. The High Queen left the shop as the crowd got busy, spinning a new tale for the gossip line. October 1st, 1987. So you get it? To put it real simply, the new religion, so serenely called the Way, first started off with a group of women who wanted children. My question is, was it truly divine intervention that enabled the Council to devise a new world order? For sanity's sake, I have to erase my suspicion that this disease was cooked up in a laboratory. We're talking about the global deaths of children, too. Male chauvinists like myself may have had our ruin coming to us, but not male children. So no, it was a fluke of nature caused by the massive pollution of our oceans that triggered the mutation of sea creatures into the deadly Larconium, and not the Council's test tube testicle time bomb. Upon returning safely from the shops of the League, with only a coat of dust for the journey, Lenise informed her assistant Stephanie that she didn't want to be disturbed. After locking herself into her chambers, she added the extra digits that would not release the lock unless Lenise did so from the inside of the chambers. She dropped her purse on the table in her foyer and She dropped her purse on the table in her foyer and entered her bedroom. Plopping down on her bed, she tore into the package and dumped its contents into a pile. She picked up each smaller package wrapped as jasmine oil to check its weight. When she came across the heaviest one, She opened it and pulled from it a bottle. She unscrewed the metal cap and took out a slip of paper. On it were the particulars of the next meeting. This one would be a simple handoff, as the package would be smaller, providing she didn't miss the appointment. After committing the details to memory, she pushed on the room's atomizer, released her drawer, and burned the evidence over her ashtray. Even though she had one cigarette left, she opened a new box and lit a fresh one. Cigarettes never tasted as sweet as they did on the day that she acquired them. She inhaled her first drag and exhaled it in a defiant circle away from the vacuuming ashtray. While the feathery smoke played in the sunbeam from her windows, she let her mind wander to the day that she smoked her first cigarette. It was a year that she turned 16. Young, in love, and invincible, Lenise and Diana had become seduced by the decadent and unrefined lifestyle of the commoners. They decided that they should investigate. Dressed as runners, the two infiltrated ranks during peak hours. They busied themselves from shop to shop, taking in the smells of the crude bakeries, fanning off the heat of the candle-making shops, and marveling at the deftness of the muslin weavers. They were astonished by these rough people who could survive on such rank food, could actually see by candlelight, and could withstand such coarse clothing. The dust from the unpaved roads ground onto their delicate bodies, the dusty air invaded their tender lungs, and the planked sidewalks splintered their virgin feet. After only an hour or so of bustling about, their raw feet and tortured lungs demanded that they rest. They sought shelter in what they thought was an abandoned house. Heaving the stiff door closed behind them, the girls stifled giggles as they flung themselves to the dirt floor. While they tried to catch their breaths, a voice shattered the darkness. "You two had better have a good reason for being here," it threatened. The girls jointed into a standing position. Lenise strained her eyes towards the directions of the voice, while Diana tightened the grip that she had on Lenise's arm. The shack was empty save for the tall beams. Behind the middle post, far across the room from where the girls stood, Lenise could make out the solitary shadow of a girl about their age. The figure stood facing them, hands clenched and fists at their sides. "I don't think that we are the ones who need to be explaining ourselves," Lenise challenged. That was all it took. The shadow fled, slamming the back door behind it. Diana swallowed down her dry, fearless vote. "I can't believe that you said that." Lenise wanted to say me either, but didn't. She didn't want to let on that she was just as frightened as Diana was. Releasing herself from Diana's grip, she slid down the wall. Crossing her legs comfortably before her, Lenise said, "What else was there to say? It was only logical. This is an abandoned house, right? Whoever that wasn't supposed to be here either." Her pounding heart thumped against her chest as she consciously controlled her breathing to allow it to slow to its normal beat, worried that Diana could hear her fear. As her eyes adjusted to the darkness, she searched the area where the girl had been. "Look," Lenise said while standing up. "She left something." The dry, rotting floorboards creaked as she made her way over to the middle of the shack. "Lenise," Diana called as quietly as she could. "We should get out of here before she comes back." "Oh," Lenise sang, "I don't think that she'll be back. Come see what she left." Reluctantly, Diana padded over to see what Lenise had found. "I guess you're right," she agreed, seeing the pack of cigarettes, the ashtray, and the book of matches. "We really should get out of here now, before we're caught with this stuff." Becoming paranoid at the sight of the contraband, she tried to pull Lenise up.